you want to make insane amounts of progress in your life at whatever you set your mind to, whether that is running a marathon, building a marketing agency, starting your own business, losing weight, whatever it is, you have a goal and you want to get there, and you will have to make progress to get there. I promise you, the 2 things that I'm about to teach you and go over are going to fucking change your life. They've changed my life to a point where I was working a 9 to 5. I went within this first 3 months of working and doing this and using this, I went from working the 9 to 5 to quitting it to run my agency full time. And now I'm honestly in the best position ever that I've always dreamt of. And it's all thanks to these 2 things that I'm about to cover. You will genuinely make scary amounts of progress at whatever you're after, and it's going to fucking scare you. But the moment you zoom out and see the months and weeks of hard work that you've put in and every single day ticking the box, it is going to scare you how much progress you are going to be making. So let's jump into it. So this is the warm-up from Charlie Morgan's video that I found this year. I'm not sure when I found it. I think it was around February or March. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe the video was uploaded in May, who knows, right? But I'm pretty sure I found this early on in this year where I paired it with the second thing that I'm about to teach you and put you on, because this is absolute value. So please, please use these 2 paired together. But essentially the warm-up is a whole macro scope of 2024, and I'm sure I'll be using this for further years in my life because this has genuinely changed my life. And all credit goes to Charlie or whoever made this on his team or whoever it is, whoever he got it from. Honestly, I can't thank the guy enough. He's a fucking GOAT. If you don't know who Charlie is, then go and check out his YouTube channel. I'll leave the link to the description to download this, to go and watch that video, to go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And whilst you're at it, you might as well subscribe to me because there's plenty of value coming through over the next few months. This will essentially illustrate the whole year for you. And as you can see, you've got quarters of each year, and then you've got each month. And then within that, of course, you can go down here where you can click on each month and essentially see what you need to be doing. Now, the way I do it is I use this from Andy Frisella, right? This is, I don't know why it's so big, but essentially it's the power list, which if you followed me before, you will know that this is the most powerful thing that has absolutely changed my life. And I've always banged on about the power list, but I've never really spoken about the warm-up and how I actually use it on the macro level to be able to illustrate and see my whole progress over the whole course of a year. Now, the power list, episode 16 of the Real AF with Andy Frisella podcast is the go-to, right? This is where he covers this, and this is exactly where you can buy it if you're interested in buying the book. I've got no affiliation, no links, no anything like that. Genuinely just a fucking tool that has changed my life. This is exactly how it works. So I have a notepad. I don't know even where it is. Here's a notepad, and I'll show you. It's a planner which essentially has Monday to Sunday, and it's got tick boxes, right? Anyway, what I do is I put in my top 5 critical tasks for the day every single night, the night before the day, and I will go out there and I will do every single thing that I can to complete those 5 tasks that I've set out that day. Now, those tasks aren't just some random tasks where it's a to-do list, because this is not a to-do list. And if you call this a to-do list and Andy Frisella finds out, he's going to fucking shout at you, right? This is honestly how you plan and execute your whole entire days, which then compound over the long term. When you zoom out and look at the warm-up and the macro scope of everything, you will genuinely see massive amounts of progress. This will allow you to stay accountable to yourself, because I know very well you have set goals for yourself before and you never hit them because you say one thing to yourself and then you take that loss because, oh, well, who's going to keep you accountable, right? I've done this myself. I've set out goals, whether they were fitness goals, whether they're financial goals. Honestly, I just didn't stick to them because I couldn't stay accountable to myself. And by the use of this tool and this power list, it keeps you accountable to yourself, where genuinely, if you are filling out this list every single day and you're ranking it, whether it's a W or an L. So if it's a W, you've completed all 5 tasks. It's an L if you haven't completed the tasks. If you are looking at the past week and you've just got L's, it is shameful and it's embarrassing. So you put the fucking work in to be able to genuinely see that you're winning each day, and then you win enough days within the week, you win the week, and then you win enough weeks within the month, you win the month, and then you win enough months and you win the year, and that's when you start seeing fucking progress. This is no fluff, genuinely 5 critical tasks each day, and I'm about to show you examples of those tasks. So before I even do that, this is a newsletter that I actually have. This is the 4th newsletter email that I've sent out. It's all about the power list and the warm-up. Chances are you've probably read this and you found this video and you're going over everything and you're watching everything. or you don't have a clue about this, and honestly, it's just my newsletter where I share as much value as possible about agency and personal growth. And this, in fact, is about personal growth and being able to make progress in anything in life. So yeah, if you're interested, go and subscribe to my newsletter, completely free of charge. I'm not selling you anything on there. I'm just sharing as much value as possible to give back, and that's my way of giving back. Anyway, here's an example of how I'd use the two together, right? I'd set a goal for Q4, which is reaching £7,500 revenue for that quarter. So Q4 is here, right? So for October, November, December, I want to make 7,500. For me to actually get that, I know I need to send out 500 emails per month, which will book me 50 sales appointments, and then I will close 10% of the appointments that I actually sit. That means 5 individuals at £500 each for whatever service I'm offering. 500 times 5, 2.5 grand. 3 months, £3,500 revenue generated. Knowing the goal that is 7,500, and then I book 10% of all emails I send out, and then close 10% of all calls taken, I now know that I need to put steps into place prior to Q4 for my system and to be able to automate this, because I want this automated. I don't want to be manually writing out emails, although you could do that, and then your Q4 and your whole macro scope would look a little bit different. But regardless, we're doing it for an example of automating. So before Q4, what I'd do is I'd set out weeks where I would have email campaign tools, software, research, lead scraping, new email boxes, scripts, angles to test, lead magnets, VSL, landing pages, everything that's required for me to be basically running this automatically and be able to run my email automation outreach to potential clients. So an example of this would be, let's make this green, and let's say VSL, okay? Now I have this VSL that I need to make, and let's say it will take me around a week to do. It's probably one of the last things that I'm going to do, which I'm going to make it. So here, for example, is where I'll be doing my VSL, and then I'll put VSL create on here. Obviously, you want to sometimes put in more detail. Again, I'll put this as green, and then that way I know within this week, from the 21st of September to 25th of September, which is not actually a week, this is going to be a week, I will need to create the VSL. Now, within that, I will go into September, and then I'll have 21st to 27th. So these are the days. And one of the tasks on this day that's going to be a critical task is, for example, going to be research VSL, okay? So I'm going to research VSL. Then next day, I'm going to script my VSL, which is another critical task. The next day, I'm probably going to create the slides. So I'll be running the VSL, video sales letter, and I'll basically be running through a slide presentation. The next day, I'm going to actually record the VSL, and that's going to take me 2 days at 3 hours each, for example. And then the last 2 days, I'll be editing VSL, and then another editing VSL. And that's it. That's as simple as it is, right? Now I know that I need to research the VSL, and once I do that, I tick it off, and essentially I make it green. Now this is where the power list comes in, because the power of pen and paper is fucking magical, and everybody just misses out on the fact that putting something on paper just instills it into your mind and make sure that you actually do it. So I'd actually write these tasks out on the piece of paper the night before, knowing that from the macroscope, I know that this month I need to be creating a VSL, or from the 21st to the 27th, I need to make my VSL, which means that when it comes to that on my piece of paper, I will then set out the tasks that I need to do. Now I'll fill this out on here so I can actually see once it's completed. If you don't complete it, then obviously everything has a knock-on effect, but that's exactly how I stay productive and how I make insane amounts of progress on everything that I set out. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and hopefully it's of value, and I'll see you in the next one.